Hello and welcome to another episode of Geekgo. Today we're going to look at Injustice: Gods Among Us, also known as the Mighty Among Us in Middle East region. This is a game created by NetherRealm Studios, who are also responsible for all the Mortal Kombat games, and is released on the 16th of April 2013 on the PlayStation 3, Xbox 360 and the Wii U. First, let's take a look at the story. With NetherRealm in their Mortal Kombat series, they've always prided themselves with having an actual story mode in a fighting game, unlike that other company, where all the storylines have full cinematics, full voice acting, and a plot that actually makes sense and ties all the characters into the same world. This isn't just there's a picture and a paragraph of words at the end and at the start of each character's campaign. No, this is one full campaign where most of the characters join into the story, and each chapter is about a certain character. Much like their last Mortal Kombat reboot, each character has 4 battles before it proceeds on to the next character's story segment. For the most part, the story in this game holds up well and does what it was supposed to do. It gives the players a reason and explanation on why these heroes would be fighting against each other. It also gives us reason why Batman, a human being, or the Joker, also a human being, can fight against Superman and somehow not get completely brutalized. However, aside from giving us this information, the story is nothing new or original. For those of you who have never read a DC comic book in your life, the story's just fine. But for DC fans, which this game is aimed at, tell me how this sounds. There's an alternate universe where Superman becomes a dictator after some brutal event happens in his life. Yeah. This again. But like I said, for fighting game, the storyline is functional and has some fun moments in it. And let me tell you, NetherRealm has done quite a good job in hiding this alternate universe storyline. The prequel comic books that tie into the storyline on this game don't really tell you that it's a different universe. They just focus on one storyline that's set in the alternate reality. Whereas as soon as the game begins, you have a Lex Luthor quote about different dimensions, and then you have characters being teleported into this alternate reality. Not even the video game's trailers or website tells you that. So I think the company has done a good job in hiding this storyline and not really telling us what's going on. So spoilers, what actually happens is, if you read the comic books, Joker somehow drugged Superman in thinking he was beating up Doomsday when he's actually beating up Lois Lane with his full power, and also nuking Metropolis, killing 8 million people, including Superman's son. Of course, Superman is enraged and feels vulnerable, he kills Joker, and it goes from there. While in the main DC universe, Joker is about to nuke Metropolis, but it's stopped just in time. The Batman from the evil Superman universe has decided to cross dimensions and teleport a few of the heroes into his world to help him access a kryptonite gun, because he needs the DNA of those heroes who are currently dead in the evil Superman's world. And so these heroes also stick around to help fight off this evil Superman. So like I said earlier, the storyline is nothing new to DC comic book fans, but it serves its purpose and is quite fun in areas. One last thing to note is that this game mixes up the formula a little bit. In previous NetherRealms games, in story mode, each character will have 4 fights before moving on to the next character. Here, in order to serve the story better, certain characters will come in for 1 fight and then disappear again. And I think this is a good way to mix up the storyline a little bit and not getting too repetitive and boring and too predictable. However, on the downside in the story mode, the creators decided to stick in some really odd and kind of rubbish quick time events. With Superman's quick time event, he is shooting lasers at cars that Sinestro throws at him, and Sinestro picks these cars up from the running traffic behind him, meaning there's a live driver in the car at least. With the Joker, he flies cars at Damian Wayne that keeps running in a straight line. With Green Lantern, he's deflecting Sinestro's power creations, makes sense. And the Green Arrow one, which is the only one that's kinda interesting, is that you have to aim your bow and arrow and shoot at Solomon Grundy. But overall, I can do with these scenes completely removed from the game. And I couldn't really see any difference between losing or winning these battles. The story just carries on like it would without them. Next, the voice acting and the music. The voice acting is really good, and you've got veterans like Kevin Conroy playing the Batman. I mean, that's just cool.
Took me almost 2 minutes to break your encryption. Nice work.
You also have people like George Newbern reprising his role as Superman since the Justice League cartoon series.
Guess my super hearing is working.
And Stephen Amell, who's currently the live-action Green Arrow playing Green Arrow in the game.
I've never seen the Batcave. Our Batcave, anyway. Should be. Interesting.
Although a weird choice in having the original Green Lantern voice actor from the Justice League cartoon playing Aquaman, because
This is complete subjugation. Superman will rule Atlantis.
I heard the voice, I recognize it, but why am I hearing Green Lantern's voice on Aquaman? Huh. The music in the background is also quite epic, which fits all the other sounds and moods of the story, so that's great. Although I didn't expect a song for the end credits. For some reason, with everything DC related, I will always picture orchestra soundtracks and not someone singing a song. It's not bad, it's just, it feels out of place, I don't know. Oh, and by the way, the story mode does contain a few swear words, and this game is more brutal than the previous DC vs MK game. It is cartoony, comic booky, but it is more brutal. Next, moving on to the gameplay. For those of you who have played any Mortal Kombat games in the recent years, you know what to expect here. All the characters have their simple combo moves and unique attack styles, and goes up to really complicated combat moves. Characters still keep their power bars in the corner. Once charged up, you can unleash your ultimate move. However, this time the charging up power bar can also be used in betting system. When in this mode, the attacker and the defender both bet the amount of the power they have in their power bar. Whoever wins gains a bit more health, and whoever loses some health. I also like how the menu instantly shows the character's special moves. Pressing start in the middle of a fight instantly gains you access to your special moves, instead of clicking into the moves list. I thought that was a neat little thing to do. All the characters also have unique power-ups. By pressing the B button on the Xbox 360 version, each character has their own unique power-up. When you press it for Batman, he has these little gadget bats that fly around him that you can shoot at people. Superman goes in his rage mode where it deals more damage. Green Arrow shoots arrows. Wonder Woman switches between her lasso and hovering, and walking and sword and shield. This makes the game far more interesting by having all these unique abilities. And there isn't a single character who feels like they have moves copied from any other character. Each character is unique. That means that while the roster isn't as big as the last Mortal Kombat game, because the characters here are so well defined, the game can still be enjoyable for a long time. However, this does give problem to some of the ultimate moves. The ultimate moves for each character range from really cool and epic and cartoony to just kinda boring. For example, on the extreme side, you have Ares' ultimate move where he teleports you into an empty field, rains 1,000 arrows down on you, becomes a giant and squishes you with his palm. You have Doomsday that pummels you through the core of the earth to the other side and then pummels you back through the core. Or you have Aquaman's move where he summons a tidal wave that has a shark inside it that bites you. Talk about epic and silly and really cool. On the other side of the spectrum, you have Cyborg who shoots you with his arm cannon. Wonder Woman summons a few Amazonians to, well, beat you up. And Green Arrow who sort of ties you up with his bow and arrow and then punches you to the floor. So talk about solar opposites. After this we have game modes, much like other NetherRealm games. Playing the storyline or competing in the ladders gives you unlock cards, and you use these cards to, well, unlock more content for the game. Things to unlock include the costumes of each hero from the second world, gamer card pictures, yeah, who cares, and extra game modes in the challenge page. These game modes are similar to the random chance and luck battles in the Mortal Kombat games where the rules differ depending which one you pick. However, here it seems a much more scaled down version of what was in Mortal Kombat. In the bonus features, you can also view each stage and manually push the destruct button to see what happens when you destroy a stage. You also have Star Labs. That includes 240 missions, where each mission you play as a different character doing a certain thing that it tells you to do. But once I played the single player campaign, I didn't really bother this mode because after all, I've seen all the stages and played with most of these characters. If I want to keep playing with different characters, I'll play versus with my friend. Finally, let's talk about the bad. At first, loading times seem to improve since the last game, since there's no loading time to get into the main menu, and the story doesn't have any loading times either. But of course now the menu is a pre-rendered video, not like the older games where it has to load all the 3D models, and the story's loading time is covered up by, well, pre-rendered cutscenes that aren't rendered to 1080, in fact they look blurry a bit of times. I couldn't help but notice the quality change when switching from video to real-time and real-time to video. I know the Xbox disc has a limited space, but I'm hoping the PS3 version, since they use Blu-ray, they have all the space to pre-render all these cutscenes in full 1080p quality. But outside of these modes, loading a stage in preview a stage mode and other normal fighting levels, well, the loading time sucks. It's not terrible, and it is bearable, but when you have a few friends over who want to play a fighting game, the loading time can seriously drain the momentum, and will probably wear on you after a few battles. For example, you're gonna think, oh, let's have one more fight, oh, but there's another loading time, let's just stick a different game in. And another bad thing is the stages in the story mode. At first I didn't notice this, but the stages don't change at all during the story mode. Now it's common for things to be moving around and characters and, you know, there's something happening in the background in the NetherRealm game these days. But the same thing happens every time you enter the same stage, even if you're in story mode, which causes so many questions. Like, why is Martian Manhunter just standing there and not helping with the fight? And what is he doing in this alternate universe? Why is Captain Atom not doing anything? And why can I throw Doomsday into Doomsday and bounce him back? Even in their last game, Mortal Kombat, the backgrounds never interfered with the storyline, which is really odd when in this game they do. Another minor gripe is, for some reason during the character selection screen, it doesn't preview the alternative skins that you pick for the character. And finally, let's look at the ugly DLC packs. If you pre-order the game from EB Games or GameStop, you get the Superman Red Sun pack, which gives you skins in Red Sun form and also a few extra missions in lines of the Superman Red Sun storyline. Walmart contains the Arkham City skin pack and also MK vs DC, in case you haven't played it yet. Best Buy and Amazon Germany, for some reason, contains the Blackest Night set, which also contains a zombie mode and Blackest Night skin packs. And then in those limited editions you get the 52 skin pack for the United States anyway, but in the Eurozone the limited edition gives you 3 DLC skin packs. That was probably something else. And let's not forget the Season Pass, where you get 4 DLCs for the price of 3, which will include 4 new fighters at least, and also Flashpoint skin packs and the 2 other DLCs which I have no idea what they are yet. And let's not forget that really stupid thing where you have to play the iPod or iPhone Injustice game to unlock some skins in the main game. Yes, this game is free, but if you don't have an iPhone or iPod, then you're screwed. And there are currently no signs of this game being released on an Android phone or any other kinds of phone, so it's Apple only for now. And there's also a few freebies which include the Arrow skin from the Arrow TV series if you've been voting on Injustice on the main website. So let me tell you what I'm going to do. I'm not going to buy a single piece of DLC. I am going to wait for the Injustice Ultimate Edition a year later and pick that up, trade in the copy I have now because I don't need it anymore, much like I did with Mortal Kombat. And I'll probably wait a week or 2 after the Ultimate Edition comes out, so it'll be cheaper anyway in video game stores or pick it up second hand. So overall, would I recommend this game? Yeah. If you like Mortal Kombat mechanics with DC comic book characters, totally go for it. Despite certain nitpicks, the story can be fun and enjoyable. And with new characters coming along the line, I hope the DC comic book roster would, well, become quite big. I mean, this DC fighting game is way better than that other one. And despite all those DLCs, NetherRealm still respects the customer way more than Capcom. And I'd say I give this fighting game a 7.5. Hey, you broke my window again! Oh hey Batman, what are you doing here? Batman? Oh hey Superman? Oh hey, and other Batman? Wait, what? What's going on here? What?